Okay, we've got a dome light on a 2000 Toyota Camry. So far I've got the lens off. I've got the lens off by just using one of these small little screwdrivers here and just leveraging in on the end. It took a fair amount of pressure, but I was able to pop it off. Okay, it's important to understand that this dome light has two positive connections. So one's not a ground, they're both positive. Works on two systems. It works on a door open recognition system, working with the door position sensor there. And also it's got an on switch, so that's the switch there. And when you close the door, just close that properly, that goes off. And it's also got a separate on-off switch, so over this side is on and there or thereabouts is off. Okay, but the middle position's a bit hard to get. That's on, that's supposed to be off. But it has to be grounded. These two screws have to be installed, so you can't just sort of plug it on and have it hanging while you test it to see if it works. It has to be installed because these provide a ground for the on-off switch. This seems to work, the door recognition system seems to work on a separate circuit. Okay, but I need to, I had this off yesterday and that's the, that'll be the first video, this will be the second. What I have to do now is just remove it and go through it and just adjust it so that this might work a bit better. Okay, so that's it there, that's the connector, and that's two positive leads. Okay, so you can see there, that's the door, and on and off should be in the middle. It seems to be sliding better there. I don't know whether or not when it's installed it could have been resting on something. I'll just try pushing pressure on the back. Yeah, that jams it up. So, thinking maybe this could be removed. Okay, the thing about this dome light is it's not, you know, there are better designs out there, and really the problem is that when the back of this is pushed down too far to clip into that clip, because there's a hole there and it's supposed to clip into a piece of plastic under there, it makes this too tight. So I'll push down on the back and it seems to work now. However, there's something about when you put the screws in, it tightens, it binds up this area here. But basically, to remove it, you just remove this top part here, this plastic bit, unclip it and move it up and out. So it goes a little bit like, there's a clip here, so just pop that off and lift it up a bit, and eventually that comes off. It's got a small ball bearing there, just be very careful not to lose that. And this is the sliding switch part of it here, and you just unclip that there. And that comes off, and you've got that metal bit there that makes the contact. Now that's got a spring, extremely small spring there, that sits in there. I did bend these out, the two wings we'll call them. I think they should be bent bent in a little bit so that they're able to roll on to the next part, because you see, and by the way, I've now got my spring and my ball bearing in a container. Yeah, so this is the switch. This goes back and forwards. It's got a ball bearing that goes in there, and it's got the contact that comes out of the other end of it. So you've got two systems, and I'm pretty sure that this one here is the on-off switch, and it'll run across onto the on-off switch, because this is powered and this is powered, and the ground is there for the on-off switch when you screw it up onto the ceiling of the car. This one here is the door position sensor, and that'll come on when the door is open. So that's run off some sort of a computer or a timing device somewhere in the car, but this is just an on-off switch, this one here. And when it comes across, it goes between this side and this one. When you bring the switch across, there's no rivets, so this is one piece metal going into here, and this is one piece metal here going to the other side here, so there's no rivets. Okay, so looking at the dome light a little bit closer, I see that this is the ground here, and that's actually the ground for this side here, this metal bit on the front here. So I've got it all the wrong way around. So when the switch is in the on-off position, that's what is grounded. But this here is not, it doesn't seem to be grounded. It comes into this box and it comes into here. Unless, of course, it's grounded through the light bulb to the other side. To the ground. So just going through that again, this here is grounded, comes through to the other side, but it comes around to this side. This side, so far as I can see, is not grounded, and it can't really go from a positive through to a negative, so far as I know. Yeah, I've never come across this type of system before. I'm going to leave the video up just because it could be beneficial to somebody. Okay, so what I'm about is really just adjusting the little brass piece here, and the wings have to be bent down so that it doesn't sort of knock and interfere. It just sort of should slide over from this position, sliding along here, to sliding onto here. So it slides from this part across to that part there. This is a well, sort of like a plastic scourer, so I'm just going to try to clean them up a bit. The other contact point I'm thinking I should clean is this one here, although it seems to be of good quality and it's not dirty. However, I'll give it a clean. I'll clean this one too. The light bulb in place seems to be acting on this as a sort of like a lever and holding this up. This probably, I'm thinking, could be down a little bit. So just repeating, I have worked on this yesterday, and I'm just doing a little bit of follow-up work. So what I feel I need to do is just bend these wings down a little bit, just so that it doesn't sort of stop on the piece of metal. It glides over it. So I'll just bend them down. Okay, that's the effect I was after. So that's got a better chance of gliding onto the contact. So now I'll start the reinstallation process. It's a little bit involved. So I use some grease just to keep things in place. So you can see just how small these parts are. I'm going to stretch this spring out so that it puts tension on this contact creator there. Okay, I've stretched that spring out quite a lot, and now I have to place that with the wings are on top there, and I'll put that in there like so, and it's popped out the side there, you see. Just try and focus that a bit. The spring's popped out on the side, so it's not easy. Okay, this really isn't easy to do, but eventually you'll get the contact and the spring behind it in place, and that's what happens. It goes from that, which is on this side, the metal bit, to this other side here. Okay, you may be able to see that the spring has in fact come out of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to crimp either side of this the retainer there, where to hold the spring. Okay, I just have more confidence in that. That's been bent on either side just to hold that spring a little bit more central. Okay, that seems to be better. I just hope that it doesn't that it's able to glide over that contact point there. It is a bit tighter. Okay, well, next we have to put the ball bearing in the cup there. So this is what I do. I work with a dab of grease. I know grease isn't a good idea when it comes to electrical circuitry. However, I have to hold the ball bearing there, because if I was to lose the ball bearing, I'd lose my entire dome light. So I'll pick that up with a bit of grease and just put it in place there. Okay, so I've just put a thin film of grease along there where the ball bearing will slide, and the contact has to go at the front here, so I'll turn that around here. I'd just like to say that you see that there, and there, this has only got one, so there's nowhere behind here to slot into those there. Possible that they could. They're actually, yeah, that's what they are. They're stoppers for this glide here. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't knock the ball bearing out of place. So I just lift this up a bit, and that goes through, and it goes over the top here, and that gets pressed down. Just have to pop this one in place. And the back one, that usually pops back out, but that's, for all intents and purposes, that's reinstalled now, so I'll just see how it goes. So that's the off position, and that's the door. It's not a sort of a confidence inspiring type of design, I must say. Okay, so that's it. Okay, if you're looking up, if you're trying to chase down one of these, you can see the serial, possibly see the serial number there, if it'll focus, and it won't focus, of course, so just like, oh, there we go. Looks like 81240YC020 and 2808. We'll actually see that better on the video there. I can't make out what that is. Okay, so the bottom one is 2908 and the top one is 81240/YC020. About the tin cover here, this is just a reflector for the light, and that does lift off. I recommend installing an LED light. That's the stock standard one. That's just a filament globe. If you do leave these on by mistake, they won't drain your battery as fast, and they're much brighter. Okay, just a reminder, you cannot just hang the dome light up like that to test it. It does have to be installed, otherwise your on-off switch won't work, and it'll lead to all sorts of confusion, so I'm going to install that properly now. Okay, that work does seem to have improved it, although at first the dome light didn't recognize that the door was open, and so the light comes on. That could be due to the LED light. They are a little bit, they seem to have to learn the different voltages. But anyway, I'll go through the cycle. So now it's on because the door's open. I'll close it and it's semi-dimmed. The on and off position have improved because of that work. It is a little bit, it doesn't slide as easily as it should, but that's all good now. There's a good contact break between on and off and the door, so I'll open the door now. So then to off and on. So I'm gonna call that a fix. All good. If you found this entertaining, or if it's helped in any way, please like and subscribe. Thank you.